Those English platformers like Mario. I want you to imagine a timeline. Yes, really, I'm asking you to abstractly picture in your mind what time looks like. Now grab out a piece of paper and draw that image in your mind on a piece of paper. Don't think very hard about it. I'll give you 10 seconds on the clock. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pencils down. I'm willing to bet that you drew a single line across the paper from left to right. By YouTube's demographics, you are likely an English-speaking person or from any number of European countries with a language and writes from left to right. Much like ancient Greek, ancient Egyptian, and Sumerian cuneiform did before you. But what if I told you that different people around the world drew a completely different picture of time than you did? What if some people drew the line from left to right, others from the top of the page down, and still others simply drew a dot or a circle onto the page? Fun fact, the South American Aymara culture perceives time as the future being behind them in space, and the past being in front. The earliest ways that people understood what time is was associating it with directions in three-dimensional space. In 2012, Bergen and Chan Lao published a paper in the journal Frontiers of Psychology, exposing how these different directions differ between cultures, finding that in Taiwan, where Mandarin Chinese is more often written top to bottom, people described time as moving downwards rather than from left to right, alongside a minority sample that expressed time as moving right to left. This was in contrast to Mandarin-speaking people living under the PRC who aligned with English speakers' placing, depicting time as moving left to right, only rarely arranging top to bottom. When participants were given the chance to explain why they came up with the arrangements that they did, they most often explicitly stated that they went in the direction that they read. The paper concluded that spatial associations of time were not natural or inborn, but instead the result of constant exposure to our language's writing direction, influencing an association between reading and time. A few follow-up studies were done to see if different cultures experienced the same thing. Does writing in Arabic change the perception of time to normally move right to left? Would Japanese make time appear to be top-down as well, or have they started writing left to right enough to change that trend? What about cultures without written languages? How did pre-literate societies imagine time? And more importantly, why do platformers always scroll left to right? The simple answer is because Super Mario Bros. Scrolled from left to right. That's how Shigeru Miyamoto designed it, and the genre drew from those norms. But why did Miyamoto think left to right as opposed to another direction? Why not bottom up, as in the direction of jumping? Flight shooters certainly had different directions to play, left to right and top down, and both became their own convention of the bullet hell genre today. Well, I have a theory. The reason Super Mario Bros. Jumps from left to right is because writing code in programming languages is done almost exclusively in English. The visual representations of code are so left to right oriented that only fantasy depictions of code, like in The Matrix, can depict it as top to bottom. The English language is deeply ingrained in how we construct computers, how programs are written, how we imagine abstract ideas like the flow of time, and from that, how we even conceive of the abstract concept of a game before we start making it. I am now announcing my boycott of all left-right health bars in games, top-down health towers like in Tunic and Dead Space, or draining health globes like in Diablo only. I will also accept a decreasing health ring centered around the player characters. All hail the circle. Stay true.